Good morning. Good morning. My name's Joe Japp. Welcome to the webinar. Hope your day is going well.
Welcome aboard, guys. This is Anne-Marie. I'm the marketing director here at EmoryDay. Looking forward to presenting the 1-hour marketing plan. All right, we'll jump on in. Today's topic is the 1-hour marketing plan, getting organized, get focused, and get results. I'm sure you've heard the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it is true. So we're going to talk about that today. But first, Joe Japp, our president, is going to give you a little overview of who EmoryDay is.
Yeah, let me do it. There we go. And with that, so we're EmoryDay. We like to think of ourselves as the best of professionals, technology, and AI. We've been growing businesses for 20 years, and we do full service marketing, which really means there isn't anything we don't do, from websites all the way through video content, email delivery, social media. We're kind of what they call full stack. One of the things that we do really well is account-based marketing. So you guys probably know a lot about marketing over your years and kind of trials and tribulations, but the difference between account-based marketing and traditional email marketing is that account-based marketing, we go identify the company, and then we go after the people inside that company. So it's a little different. It's a little bit more targeted. In fact, we had a client just recently say, we're hiring you for one purpose. And I was like, let's do it. He goes, to win Coca-Cola. I was like, ooh, that's fun. So they have 13 bottling franchisees with 115 bottling lines spread out over about 40 different facilities. And we're actually targeting the maintenance managers, the engineers, and a couple levels inside of both of those specialties at each plant to do CapEx and OpEx marketing. So we find ourselves in some really fun, let's go get them mission-oriented campaigns. But we have about 50 US-based team members. We have a wonderful lead generation platform we built ourselves. We've served thousands of clients. And here we go. Next slide. Wonderful. And we're pretty simple. We're mission focused. Our mission is to grow your business cost effectively using comprehensive marketing. And we always work on cost effectively because the word that we sit next to cost effectively is consistency. You guys know from your sales, from your time in business, anything that you do consistently yields results. And one of the things that we found with too many of our companies that we start working with was they started something and then they stopped it, and they started it and they stopped it. And that really kind of creates a different result than if you picked a steady plan that you could sit right inside your budget and do the long, hard work. So we really believe in that concept. And next slide. When we do what we do, we create success. We have case studies across all industries. We love doing what we do. We love doubling and tripling revenues. And with that, we've helped us a number of our businesses sell, about 16 in the last 24 months, which puts us at roughly about 5% of all of our clients selling in any given year. We have a wonderful AI-powered dashboard, which is really quite nifty from a sales perspective. It gives you a lot of AI insights, does a lot of follow-up with you, and then let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why a 1-hour plan, right? Most small business owners are doing something in marketing, but it's usually reactive, uncoordinated, and exhausting. So a 1-hour planning sprint forces you to prioritize what matters and ignore the rest. And because things shift quickly, you're going to repeat this every 30 days to stay agile. Want you to sort of think of this as sprint planning. We start with one objective, let's say 20 qualified leads. So every choice is going to ladder up. Next, who exactly will buy and what micro offer hooks them? Third, limit yourself to 2 or 3 channels, the ones that your data shows performs. And then you're going to sketch a simple 30-day calendar, posts, ads, emails. And then finally, and what I think is the most important, is name the owner of the KPI for each tactic. All right, so we're going to go into all of these. And that's your lean plan. So more is not better. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. it's better just to go deep on a few channels. You're going to pick 2 or 3 channels where your prospects are already spending time. So for example, if you're B2B, LinkedIn and email might be your heavy hitters. If you're local B2C, Google and Meta will probably perform best. Now, the goal is always going to be traction, not perfection. So you want to start doing something. You don't need a giant marketing calendar, just 30 days of visible, actionable steps. They're going to include, you can do a spreadsheet, Google Calendar, or a dry erase board. And let me just pull these all up. So weekly, you're going to include on there a weekly email or ad, social post or video content, one campaign goal. So whatever that's going to be, a lead magnet, flash promo, whatever it is. So you're just going to use a simple grid calendar format. So the key is to see what's happening when, so you stop winging it. And this here is sort of a really good way to look at it. And this is where accountability kicks in. You're going to assign a name and a metric to each item. Even if you're solo, if it's just one person who's responsible for it, it tells your brain that this matters, right? This is important. So you pick a number to track progress, cost per lead, the open rate, booked calls. This is how you're going to turn those ideas into outcomes. And it's also where you're going to start to build the picture of what's working, what I had mentioned previously, what's working and what's not. Once you start to have this data, you'll collect it on your spreadsheets week over week, month over month. It's going to become your decision-making lens. Instead of guessing and relying on gut instinct, you're going to see which channels, which messages drive results, and which ones can be cut. So you stop wasting time on things that don't work. So over time, this is going to make your marketing smarter, leaner, and just way more effective. So in this example here, for the Facebook ad campaign, I assigned it to myself. Here's my metric. This is what success is going to look like to me, getting that cost, that lead cost in at under $30. And when am I going to check on that? I'm going to check on that every week, 7, 14, 21 days. You can put it weekly, mark it on your calendar. However, your brain is going to internalize that information. You put your check-in dates. So we're sending out a weekly email, and Alex is going to own that. This is the metric we're looking for, is a 25% or better open rate. And when Alex is going to check that 3 days post send and mark it on that calendar, right? So everybody owns a success metric and has to check in on it. One of the most important ones to me is always going to be your lead follow-up in your CRM. So you're doing all these things, you're spending this money, you're putting this effort in, and the leads come in. A lot of people are just freeze. Now they don't know what to do with those leads. It's like, okay, they're here. You have to work them. So if you're looking for 5 booked calls that week, in real time, you need to be using a CRM to work those leads, record your outreach, and record your follow-up dates. EmoryDay, we have our own system. We built it from the ground up. So this is my shameless plug, but it's how we run EmoryDay. I live by it, and I will show it to you in a little bit. But this is the most important piece to me. The most important piece of the puzzle is really assigning these owners and metrics and then following up in real time. So the next is really, so it's a pretty simple presentation I had here for you guys today. I really wanted to get into the wrap-up Q&A. You know, you have a repeatable process now that you can clarify your number one marketing objective for that month, for those next 30 days. Focus on the right audience and the right offer. We're going to pick high impact channels, not just everywhere if it's not working. And we're going to plan out the next 30 days of action. And you're going to do this month over month and stay accountable with your owners and your metrics. So any questions, drop them in the chat. And since it's the 2 of you, feel free just to speak, you know, go ahead and speak freely. We can have a nice conversation about it. And
All right.
I
I
will.
got a question on your previous slide where you talked about your email blast and your open rate of 25%. If you have an open rate of 20%, do you reblast that same email to the same audience to boost that rate?
Not necessarily, because you don't want to spam anybody. So here, let me go back to that one for you. All right, so with email, right, our approach with email is so the open rates come in and you're looking at them, and it's just one of the metrics you're going to look at. You're going to look at your clickers as well. So do you resend it and blast it to the same people? Not necessarily. I would, depending on the content that's in it. If it's a newsletter, right, which is just bringing information, the value add to your list, you don't want to blast that again. But if it's an offer, or if it's something timely, or if it's more of a sales pitch, what I would do is look at the click rate and maybe segment those out, and then email a similar but next step message to those clickers, right? And then you can whittle it down from there, so you see what the metrics are on that particular email send, and take it to the next step. And again, always offering in those emails a call to action that doesn't get bogged down, not necessarily to go to your website, but go straight to a calendar and put that's a higher, a better lead, right? Put it right to your Calendly and get them on your calendar for a call, so that you can go through a quote request or an idea or a need that they have.
Yep. Love it, love it, love it. And again, we don't sell heavy on this fact. If we're a marketing company worth our salt, something good has happened that allows you to close the machines, and you've been around the block, so I don't need to oversell you.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks,
Have a great
Nancy.
week.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, John.
you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a good weekend. Be good.
Go sell something.
I'm going to try.
Same
Take
here.
care.
See ya.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.